this bill of comprehensive police reform to be... just got to be careful here with some gunshots. Excuse us, excuse us. It sounds like gunshots. I'll let you know what this is.
Pretty wild, huh? Right where George Floyd died 1 year ago today, gunfire. And it makes sense because, well, it's been a year of lawlessness encouraged by Black Lives Matter and the media and the far left. And, yeah, Joe Biden. I'd like to bring in our panel. We got Harrison Floyd, former executive director of Black Voices for Trump. Welcome back. And Bernie Kerik, of course, the former New York City police commissioner and Newsmax contributor. Welcome to you both. That's the way I see it, a year of exploitation and violence. Harrison Floyd, your thoughts on this 1 year anniversary?
Well, you hit the nail on the head, and thanks for having me back again, Greg. It's great to see you, sir. It's been a year of lawlessness, and I mean, that just really goes to show the type of neighborhood that Officer Chauvin was in when he was dealing with George Floyd. Their level of senses are heightened level of awareness, and so it's really unfortunate that these types of things keep occurring in Black communities.
Commissioner, what are you thinking? I can't believe just how unproductive and backwards it seems like we've gone back 10, 20 years in 1 year.
Hey, here's what I'm thinking right off the bat as I watched that video. You know what you didn't hear? You didn't hear sirens. You didn't hear police cars coming. You didn't hear police radios, and they have police officers assigned to that square. You didn't see any police response. And basically that's because, one, they've defunded, and two, the cops are scared to death to do their job. But here's one other thing I'd like to touch on, Greg, real quick, and that is there was a George Floyd protest today in Union Square, and they were screaming and yelling about more defunding of the New York City police, and they want to take that money and put it into housing, health, and education. Here's the bottom line. Health, housing, and education is never going to get better if you don't have a society that's safe and secure, because nobody wants to live, visit, work, or go to school in a place where they're not safe and where mothers have to put their babies to bed in bathtubs to protect them from violence. And that's what's going on as a result of defunding.
It's amazing. By the way, the Floyd family in Washington, D.C., I think they've been totally exploited. Although, quite frankly, financially, they've made out very well. They got a $27 million settlement before the trial was resolved. A lot of people had a problem with that. There's Nancy Pelosi with the extended Floyd family. Joe Biden considers himself a close family friend at this point. To me, it seems like pandering of the first order. Harrison, I don't know, but I just find the exploitation is how I see it of these people. Really pathetic.
They are being exploited. Black Lives Matter hasn't done anything for the Black community. They received a whole bunch of money, wasted it. Joe Biden hasn't spoken to Black Lives Matter. It's incredibly unfortunate. And by the way, no relation. But another thing that Bernie hit on, another thing you're not hearing about is solutions to what's going on. Greg, I think you know from being in the military like me, one thing I would like to see is maybe a uniform code, something similar to the UCMJ. I think that might help, you know, but you don't hear anything from Black Lives Matter about tangible solutions. It's just ridiculous stuff like defunding the police. Who are you going to call it? Ghostbusters? It doesn't go work.
And they don't seem to care, Black Lives Matter, the organization and the movement, about Black Lives, Commissioner, unless that black life is taken by a white cop. And that's...
Hey, Greg,
yeah.
This is, and I think nobody would know this and understand it better than your father, because he was actually on the job in the 70s, 80s, going into the 90s. The Black Lives Matter organization is a continuation of the Black Liberation Army in the Black Panther Party. They were inspired by the queen of the BLA, Assata Shakur, or Joanne Chesimard. Their treasurer is Susan Rosenberg. The bottom line is they have nothing, they have no care for Black communities. Those tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars that have gone to Black Lives Matter, not one dime has gone into any community for Black lives in those communities. And in the meantime, we have Black lives being slaughtered in areas like Chicago, Baltimore, Atlanta, all these Democrat-run cities, on a daily basis, and nobody's doing nothing about it.
Well, I wish that Barack Obama, and I have my differences with Barack Obama, but he has status, he has power, he has money, he has time. He could roll up his sleeves and change the conversation like nobody could, but he doesn't want to go there. One point, Harrison, back in 2008, he spoke very candidly about the status of the black family in America and how too many fathers were MIA, and AWOL is how he put it back in 2008. That's a conversation that he only dabbled in, and certainly that problem hasn't been fixed. I wonder if there's any getting to this guy. I wish there was. I don't think there is, but he could change this country still in a big way if he wanted to.
He could have done it when he was president of the United States for 8 years, and he didn't, because you know why? He really doesn't care, Greg. I'll say it. No one else wants to say it. Barack Obama doesn't care about black people, because if he did, in Chicago, where you see some of the highest gun violence and crimes against black folks, he would have done something about it. Same thing in Atlanta and the other places that Bernie mentioned. He doesn't care. He just wanted to be president and do whatever it is that he wanted to do, advance the LGBT community, communist, Marxist ideology. It's disgusting. But this is America, and we're going to get it right.
Yeah, he turned it on when he had to, when he was trying to win us over during the campaign. And then, no, I think you're right. I think he just wanted to be president. Well, we thank you, gentlemen, both. Predictions for the future, Bernie, Kerik, it's been a rough year. You sense that there's going to be a pivot, that even liberals are uncomfortable with a society such as this?
Well, listen, Greg, I predicted last year around this time when they started defunding, there'll come a time when things will start to implode, and those liberals, those city council members, those mayors, they're going to have to refund. They're going to have to call back the cops because the communities aren't going to stand for it, and that's what we're seeing right now.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.